Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I am back home and I'm glad to be back home despite we have a very rough start of a Monday. We're about 3 hours into the opening. You can see we're 1,200 points down or 5.8%. I think you're going to have to expect more of this to come, especially until we really understand what we're dealing with. So when we are looking at the impact of the global economy, the health and safety of everyone, until that is clear, you're going to see some very ugly days. And crypto is no different. There are double-digit losses across the board. So let's keep an eye on that, expect more, and I'm going to stay focused on the big picture. I want to first talk about something that was discussed at the MIT Bitcoin Expo 2020. Last year, they had a lot of great video from this event in 2019. I can't find it yet. I do want to see it because this is a little, I'm not sure if the information was taken out of context. I really want to see the panel in its entirety because there were 3 monetary and crypto experts that discussed and acknowledged that DLT could improve the existing global monetary system. But according to Sonia Davidovic, she thinks there are significant challenges. She talks about warning the central banks not to rush to implement blockchain systems without properly vetting the technology first. I'm okay with that. And that she sees that there's a lot of hype out there and that people are just quickly jumping to choose technology because it's popular. I don't know about that. And this is one I really am scratching my head at. Despite the array of distributed systems available to central banks, Davidovic claims that none have demonstrated robust privacy and interoperability. Now, Sonia, I know you have been with the IMF for 10 years and your title is digital expert, but I just can't believe that you would paint the whole space with this broad brush. For those of you watching, she was also the squad leader for the IMF Learning Coin. That was a nearly 2-year study of DLT with a crypto asset exclusive to the IMF and the World Bank. But I want to point out to you that Mr. Kitao, the CEO of SBI Holdings, he wrote a book last year on RippleNet and XRP, the digital asset, and he actually has a bank, and he talks about how all the members of RippleNet are connected through the Ripple's standardized technology, and that it's designed to comply with each bank's risk, privacy, and compliance requirements, and that the software is architected to fit within the bank's existing infrastructure, minimizing integration, overhead, and business disruption. So I am definitely going to do a video on this book because I think it warrants that. But I'm going to just move to one more article that was published on Ripple Insights last summer when they made the announcement of the Spring Ripple's developer platform. You can see that XRP has the fastest and most scalable settlement of any top digital asset and a proven use case. So this is far beyond the hype. It's actually far beyond an alternative store of value too. It's about cross-border payments via RippleNet. When you pair the interledger protocol with the digital asset XRP, it bridges the gap between any fiat or digital asset and forms a universal, ubiquitous way to do payments, to make payments. So the developers who build on the or with the ILP experience infinite scalability and are not locked into a single crypto ledger. Okay, I'm going to take you to a little bit of drama now. So this is Paul Singer. He's the billionaire and founder of Elliott Management Corporation. He has a net worth of about $3.5 billion. He's known as a vulture, mostly because he targets distressed, debt ridden entities. But in this case, he took a sizable stake in Twitter, and he plans to push for changes, including replacing CEO Jack Dorsey. And with the stake, the firm also nominated 4 directors to the Twitter board, while only 3 seats are actually coming available at this year's annual meeting. But he wanted to be sure that there is no problem to fill any other vacancies that may arise. So unlike Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Dorsey doesn't have voting control of the company, and I think we are in for some drama. I just hope whatever he does, he doesn't provide a platform where we are afraid of censorship, because that is going to be really quite a loss to the crypto space, because Twitter has been the home for crypto for quite a while, mostly because, well, it's been filling a gap. For years, the traditional financial media has chosen not to cover cryptocurrency, and social media has taken over the role of that traditional media in this space. So despite the crypto Twitter storms, yes, they do occur. It is the place, however, you can find the deep scoop on what is really happening. There have been some media companies and entities that have attempted to cross over, like Weiss Ratings, or a few of the guest writers that Forbes has had. I can think of Francis Coppola and Jason Bloomberg. And oh, let us not forget the Satis Group. They are so-called advisors in this space. Well, all of them are just pathetic. We really, really need to have a fact checker, because the FUD is sometimes terrible. Now, let me introduce to you Preeti Kasreddy. She is a self-taught blockchain engineer. She taught herself to code, and she's worked for some of the giants in the space, like Goldman, Coinbase, Andreessen Horowitz. She also founded a company called True Story. It's a platform that was dedicated to validate claims that people made on the internet, something seriously needed in crypto. She raised $3 million in funds from some very notable VCs. However, this last January, it was announced that True Story would shut down, and she would plan to return all the money to the investors. For a year and a half, her team worked day and night trying to make a sustainable model. So I think the market timing was just too difficult for her to do it, and she has since given that up. But I'm happy that she still was given the spotlight today as one of the 10 notable women in crypto. Today is celebrating women in crypto. And along with that, we also see Tiffany was one of the 10. She is an influencer who is never afraid to speak her mind. I was happy to see her face. And Emmy was also given a shout out for the Women in Crypto Day by OKX. So congratulations to all 3 of them. Okay, we are, well, in the middle of a Black Swan event, and South by Southwest was canceled. The Bitcoin 2020 was postponed. That is after San Francisco declared the state of emergency. The DC Blockchain Summit postponed. The FinSum 2020 Summit in Japan postponed. The Paris Blockchain Summit postponed. And with the Bitcoin MIT Expo, well, they did go on, but it was restricted to the amount of people that could gather in a room. Now, I hope by March 30th in New York, this date still sticks. This is an event called Synchronize, and the event is claiming that hype is in the rear view mirror because technologies like R3 and Ripple are fully operational. DLT, crypto, and smart contracts are going to be the focus for financial institutions. Companies like Deloitte, Fidelity, Securitize, also Ripple's partner Itaú Bank, many are going to be there. And at 2:10 p.m., there's a panel with Ripple, Banco Santander, Credit Suisse, and PNC Bank, which will be moderated by Danielle Martel from Accenture, and they're going to discuss digital assets and DLT payments. I'm very interested in what they have to talk about. The person who's going to represent Ripple is James Wallace. He's rather new. He came to the Ripple team this last summer and has the title of VP of Global Sales Strategy and Operations. He was previously with IBM, and for a very long time, he is also the co-founder of IBM's blockchain business. Interesting, don't you think? I think so. So 2 months before he joined Ripple, he wrote this article in May 2019, and it is titled, "A Network of Networks Will Unleash the True Value of Blockchain. Linking together related networks deliver greater benefits than the sum of their individual parts." So individual blockchains can become an avalanche by working together. This is interoperability. He understands, and this has been the mantra for Ripple forever, that a industry that works together can ensure its full potential. In fact, it can become an avalanche by working together. So interoperability is Ripple's middle name, and XRP loves a party. On the event website, you can see that they are keeping everyone up to date, so you can be sure that they're monitoring the safety and health for all the attendees. They're asking everyone to adopt a no handshake policy and also to self-certify that you have not traveled to 4 countries that they outline, and also that you've not come in contact with anyone diagnosed. It's kind of interesting. So we'll have to watch and see how that shapes up. Okay, I have something that's very rare, actually. It's an old audio from a webinar, and it has the voice of Chris Larsen, and he's talking about market makers. It's very interesting for the fact that it's the early days of how these market makers are going to facilitate the power of XRP and provide that liquidity. So have a listen to this. I think it's quite interesting. Let me see if I got it. Yeah, I've got it at the right part. Okay, here we go.
So we cannot disclose any, and it's some confidential information there, but just a question here about what market makers have already joined Ripple. What we can say is just kind of the nature of the market makers. These are institutional trading firms that are managing large amounts of anywhere from $500 million on up to close to $1 billion in assets under management. There are about eight of these institutions today. So, with regard to the network growth, the volume that we're seeing, the volume of where we're going over the next year, 2 years, there's more than sufficient liquidity to power that type of volume, in particular with leverage.
So this is years ago when Chris was still the CEO, and they had 8 institutional trading firms helping them out. Well, now I think the most successful, well, I think undeniably right now, the most successful in the world of XRP liquidity is Bitso. And here there is another event coming the 24th and 25th of June, 2020, with the GibTech 2020. It'll happen in Gibraltar. And the CEO of Bitso, Pablo Gonzalez, is going to talk about crypto and payments. I'm just, gosh, I hope we are figuring out this space and these dates stick. But 3 days ago, someone from Bitso gave us a great insight. This is Barbara Gonzalez Briceño, and she is the head of finance at Bitso. She explains how they have the world's largest liquidity of the Mexican peso to digital assets. They are facilitating ODL, on-demand liquidity, in Mexico. And towards the end of 2018, they took the chance and built this corridor with Ripple. And hats off to them, because they went into something that had not yet been proven. So a typical wire transfer costs more than 5 times what Bitso partners now pay. So that includes MoneyGram. That gives you an idea of the savings. And looking out to build other corridors, Brazil and Argentina is mentioned, Colombia and Brazil is mentioned, and the US and Peru is also mentioned. They have the vision to connect all of Latin America. She says that ODL is amazing, and they aim to increase its share by 10 times in 2020. Amazing. I think that's amazing. Okay, everybody, I'm jumping to the fluff. So unfortunately, I'm going to talk about sumo and what has happened due to the closures of just about everything in the way of public events in Japan. This is a picture of the wrestlers arriving in Osaka. Osaka is where the spring tournament is taking place. It had its first day on Sunday, and they took the train, or the bullet train, the Shinkansen, there. They prepared with 3,000 masks and 350 disinfectant sprays. They have thermometers whereby each wrestler will log in their temperature twice daily. Reporters must stay 2 rows apart from them. And if anyone in the association is found to be infected, well, the possible termination of the entire tournament could result. And I think to and from the venue now, they must take a car or taxi. They're not allowed to take the train. In fact, no one is allowed to even go in or out of the venue. You can see this is the opening where they gave a very unique speech at the beginning and said that despite no attendees, that the wrestlers would still give their best. Fans cannot contact them, they can't touch them, they can't take photos with them. Security patrols have been hired to make sure that no mistakes are made. The pictures are just, I don't know, I'm just speechless. I've just never seen anything like this. This is the opening ceremony with Hakuho, and here is where they come out. This is the higher ranked wrestlers in their parade before they begin their bouts. I just can't believe the empty seats. And then here they are doing their very best with an empty auditorium. Wow. Let's hope we get over this soon. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.